One of the hardest parts about moving, and I think the reason that a lot of people say that moving is really stressful, is that it can take a while to feel settled into your new space. Even if everything went really smoothly with the move and all of your stuff arrived safely, and even if you didn't move very far away, it can still take some time for that new place to feel just right. So here are my 7 tips to help you feel at home faster. Tip number 1 is to pay attention to lighting. Most people know that a really dark place can tend to feel depressing and closed in, but on the flip side, if you have a lot of really bright, harsh light, it can also have the effect of making the place feel uninviting. So you want to find that sweet spot with your lighting between it being too dark and really bright and overpowering. The key to using lighting to make your place feel more inviting is by layering your lighting. So you'll want to use things like lamps, under cabinet lighting if that's available for you, sconces, things that will bring in light that's not just relying on that one overhead light, because that one overhead light can really make the place feel harsh and uninviting. So bring in as many lamps as you can, and that's really going to help to have the space feel open and light, but also not so harsh and overwhelming. When it comes to lighting, the temperature of a light is measured in Kelvin, and the lower you are on the Kelvin scale, the warmer the light. So you want your light to be nice and warm, like I would say between 2000 to 3000 Kelvin. If you get higher and higher up, like over 5000 Kelvin, then that is a really harsh, cold light that can make your place feel really uninviting. So I would stick with the warmer range of light, and then make sure that your lighting matches throughout, so that if you have one lamp that's a warm light, you don't want to have another lamp on the other side of the room that's a cold light. They'll clash with each other. So pay attention to the Kelvin scale and always opt for the lower range of that scale. Another way to add in lighting is simply by bringing in some candles. I'm not a huge fan of scented candles because of all the toxic chemicals, but you do you. If you like scented candles, that's great. Unscented candles, eco-friendly candles, they can even be electric candles or flameless candles, whatever works for you, but just having that extra layer of light can really make the place feel inviting. And if there's a fireplace available in your new home and it's the time of year when you can use it, because that's also going to make the place feel nice and cozy and homey, and it's going to add in that extra layer of light. Here in our place, we're renting and there's no fireplace available, so we actually brought in an electric fireplace and we love it. Even though it's a fake flame, it still puts out some heat, so it warms up the place in the winter and it just gives us this nice cozy feel, even though, like I said, it's not real, but it does help. Tip number 2 for making your new place feel more like home is by adding in lots of layers. Think rugs, curtains, soft fluffy towels, throw blankets, throw pillows are a great place to start here. Basically anything that's going to bring in some texture and some warmth and softness to your place, that is going to help it feel more cozy and more like home. And it's also going to absorb the sound, because you may have noticed when you were just moving out of your old place that once you got it empty, it felt so lifeless and echoey. And it's the same way when you're moving into a new place. When you first get there and it's empty, it just feels really echoey. It feels empty and lifeless. And once you start adding in layers and textures and bring in some softness and some warmth to that space, it really helps it to feel more like home. If you're on a tight budget, throw pillows are a great place to start. You can even take existing pillows and just throw a new cover on them just to change up the color. Basically anything that is going to brighten up and soften up that space is really going to help it to feel more like home. And it's also a way to add your personal touch to the space. So think about your favorite colors and patterns and textures and try to incorporate that into your new space. The more layers you add, the more the home is going to feel warm and soft and cozy, and the less it is going to echo. So it's going to really help you feel more at home and more settled when you get rid of that echo by adding in those layers. Tip number 3 when you're getting settled in your new place is to bring in your favorite things. And this is a really fun part of getting settled, because chances are if you just moved, maybe you sold a house, and you had to stage that house to move. And part of staging a house is that we always want to depersonalize it. So we want to take away everything that would be personally identifiable, anything that has your name on it or your face, any family pictures, anything that's really specific or personal to you. You take all of that out when you stage a house to sell, but when you're moving into your new place, you do what I call reverse staging, which is bringing in all of those personal elements. So you get to really make this place your own. Hang up your favorite family photos, reach for your favorite artwork, or maybe you're into plants and you have favorite plants that you get to decide where you want to put them. You get to help your pets get set up in their little area. Whatever helps this place to feel more at home for you, that's what you want to do. As you're bringing in your favorite things, think about all 5 senses. Think about things that you like to see, things that you like to hear. Maybe you have your favorite music playing in the background, things that you like to taste. Maybe you're making your favorite food, you have those smells coming from the kitchen. Think about your sense of touch, like soft pillows or soft blankets or big fluffy towels in the bathroom. Again, going back to adding those layers. These are all some of the ways that you can bring in some of your favorite sights and sounds and feels and smells into your new home and just make it feel more like you. If you bought your new place, then you might even start thinking about whether you want to paint walls or add in your own little touches of color here and there. If you're renting your own place, you might be more limited, but there still are plenty of options. You can hang your favorite artwork. You can use the removable wallpaper that goes on really easily and comes off really easily. And there are just lots of ways to make that space feel like you. Tip number 4 for getting settled in your new place is to learn your way around. This applies more if you've just moved far away to a place that is completely unfamiliar. If you're just moving across town, then maybe you already know your way around, but you still might have to find a different way to get places depending on the traffic flow or how big your city is. But this is mostly for if you have just moved to a completely different city or state or even country. Learning your way around is really going to help you feel more at home faster. Tip number 5 for getting settled in your new place is to connect with people. This is especially important if you have just moved to a place that is far away from where you lived before. So don't be afraid to accept an invitation to get together with a new neighbor, or try joining a group in your local area. Maybe even check online postings to see what's going on around town so you can get out and explore the area and meet new people. And if that sounds really overwhelming to you, maybe you are an introvert and the thought of getting together with people feels like the last thing you want to do. I understand that, but make sure that you are connected to someone, even if it's just FaceTime or phone or WhatsApp. And even if it's someone from where you lived before, make sure that you have not closed yourself off during the move, because it's really easy to do that. It's really easy when you're moving to get overwhelmed in all the unpacking and getting settled and trying to find your way around. And pretty soon days have gone by and you haven't really talked to anybody. So you want to make sure that you are maintaining connection with community. That is so important. Even if it's just your one safe person that you have to talk to, please make sure that you're not shutting yourself off in your new space. It's going to feel more like home when you have people to talk to, even if it is virtually. So that is a really important part of making your new place feel like home. And again, if the idea of meeting new people face to face in your new town feels overwhelming to you, I understand that. I also encourage you to keep in mind, what if there is someone in that town who needs you as much as you need them? What if there is someone that you're going to meet that you would have never met without making this move, and you really need that person in your life? So I encourage you to keep an open heart to that. I know it can be really overwhelming and even scary to meet new people, but when I think back on all the moves that we've made, there are so many people in my life who I would have never met without those moves, and I honestly cannot imagine my life now without them. So I'm so grateful for the moves. Even though it was hard in the moment, I'm so grateful for those people that I was able to connect with and that are still a part of my life, even though we've now moved away again. But I love them so much. I'm so grateful to have them. And I'm hoping that you find people like that in your new area as well. If you've gotten any value out of this video so far, please hit that subscribe button so that I can reach more people and help more people. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. Tip number 6 for feeling settled in your new place is to calm your nervous system. Now, you may have heard of the nervous system being divided into 2 parts. There is the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, and then the parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest. So naturally, when you're at home, that is the place where your body needs to be able to rest and digest and calm down. But when you are in a new place that feels unfamiliar and it doesn't feel like home yet, it can be hard to do that. There are lots of different ways to maintain a sense of calm in the midst of a big life transition like this. Some of the things that work best for me are taking a hot bath, or doing yoga, or drinking a hot cup of tea. Maybe you like journaling or doodling or some other kind of artwork. Maybe you like snuggling up on the couch with your pet or reading your favorite book. Maybe you enjoy weighted blankets or breathing exercises. Whatever it is that really helps you to feel calm and centered, that's what's going to help you to feel like this place is a safe space, and it's going to give your body that cue that it is okay to calm down and settle down here and make this place home. Tip number 7 for getting settled in your new place is to be gentle with yourself. Now, if you've been watching my videos for any time at all, that probably does not come as a surprise to you. I'm always reminding you, be gentle with yourself. Do not beat yourself up. You have just gone through, or you are about to go through, a major life change. So it is really important not to be hard on yourself here. This is not the time to beat yourself up. It is not the time to say, why do I have all this stuff? Or why does this feel so hard? Or why am I having such a hard time getting settled? Keep in mind that you did not just snap your fingers and land in your new house, so it's gonna be faster than the snap of a finger for you to feel settled when you get there. If you think back on the whole process of your move and how long it took you to go through everything and declutter and prep and pack and move and unpack, that is all such a process. And so of course it's gonna take you some time to, on the other end of that, kind of come off of that high of all of that activity. So I encourage you, pay attention to how you're speaking about yourself during this transition, and please, please be gentle with yourself. This whole process takes time, and however long it takes is how long it takes. And I would also encourage you to consider removing the word should from your vocabulary. So instead of saying, I should feel better by now, I should be more organized, I should feel settled by now, instead, you could replace that word should with something like, I am in the process of getting settled. I'm moving in a good direction. I'm doing the best I can. I choose to be gentle with myself. My favorite one is, I love myself and I'm worthy of love. If you enjoyed this video, then YouTube thinks that you would like this video right here. I'll meet you there.